Going on a trip with next generation English. We're gonna learn and dive into this magic land. We're gonna find some friends and learn some words. I want to see what you like. Your favorite food, your favorite team. Come in this journey with me. Next generation. Next generation. Next generation. English for you and me. Don't be scared of what you heard. English is not what you think. If you pay attention, you might just dream. Next generation, I wanna learn with you. You wanna learn with me? Hey, come on, let's work together in this. This project is for all of us who want to win. Next generation. Next generation. Next generation. English for you and me.
For those who don't remember who I am, my name is Eder, and I am here with my best friend Natalia. Keep in mind that together we are going to travel and learn more about our culture and region. We love learning about our Caribbean region. Hello, Natalia. Let the audience know who you are and what else we're gonna do in this program.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalia. I am 16 years old and I live in Puerto Colombia, Atlántico. I am really happy to start this English program with you. In this radio program, we're going to learn about different places and people, and we're going to do it in English. Do you like English, Heather? How about you guys? Do you like English?
Of course, I love English, and I'm sure that our listeners love it too. I practice English with my friends and my family every single day. In this program, we are going to have different sections. Atlantic News, Sports, Get to Know Me, Let's Play, Listen Up, Get Ready with Me, Reading Nook, and Backpack. Natalia, please let us know what we are going to talk about in each section.
Well, Heather, first of all, we have Atlantic News, where we will talk about current events in our department. For example, information about the quarantine and important things happening in Atlántico. Then we have Sports, a section dedicated to our most important athletes and the sports we like a lot. We will also have a section for interviews called Get to Know Me. We will talk to some of the most interesting people you can think of.
Wow, we are going to learn a lot about our region, sports, and people with those sections. I can't wait. So far, my favorite section is about sports. Okay, what else do we have for our audience, Natalia?
Next, our most fun section. Let's play. We will play games together and we will have some challenges for you too. It will be so much fun. Listen up, it's our music section. We will discuss the greatest hits in English of all time. Finally, our beauty section for all you beautiful people. Get ready with me. We will talk about the latest trends in fashion, makeup, hair, and even health.
I'm really excited to listen to those sections. Let me tell you that I love traveling and discovering new things. That's why, in our backpack section, we'll be traveling to different towns from our department. We will take our backpacks and take our imagination to discover more and more about these places. Remember, imagination can take you anywhere.
Yeah, Heather, that sounds cool. I remember that I saw you with many books in your backpack. So let me ask you, do you like reading books and short stories?
You have to be kidding me. Reading is my passion. This is one of my favorite parts of the day.
Well, I think that you're going to love this section, Reading Nook. This is a relaxing section. We will pick a book and we will read it together.
Natalia, that sounds awesome. But I'm sure that our listeners have this question. What is a reading nook?
A reading nook is a place where you can sit and take a breath. It should be a corner, or if you like, it could be an entire room in your home dedicated to your needs and unique personality. Basically, it is your own space to read. Heather, do you have your own reading nook?
Honestly, my favorite spot to read is in my backyard. I have a big tree and I sit under it. It's really fresh. You know, I love nature. Hi, Natalia. Welcome to this new section, Get to Know Me.
Hey Heather, what's new?
Well, Natalia, for today's section, we are going to talk about kinship. That's to say, the relationship between the different members of a family. For some of you, these terms may be new, and that's why I'm going to spell it. Kinship. 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 In Spanish, kinship is parentesco.
This sounds familiar to me. Last episode, we learned a lot about family and the family tree. Now we're going to talk about kinship.
You're right. Today, we'll be talking about family, and in particular, kinship. Keep in mind that kinship is what we call the relationship between two people from the same family. For example, father, son. Please pay attention to this episode and never get confused with this.
Well, Heather, talking about this subject, I may have a confession to make. Sometimes I also get confused with the kinship of my own family, especially for distant relatives. A relative is a member of your family, by the way. It can be a bit complicated, but it's not a language issue. It's about always wanting to define what relationship you have with someone else in your family, especially if you come from a large family.
Yeah, Natalia, this may be confusing, but don't worry. I'm going to help you. Today, I'm going to teach you the most fundamental kinship. I recommend that you pay attention and listen to me. I'm sure you'll understand.
Thanks, Heather. I know you're patient and will help me understand this better.
I'll give you an example of a family, and I'll name each member too. It'll be easier that way. I'm going to talk about my best friend's family. For those who don't know, I have a lot of best friends. One of them is Luis. Luis is 19 years old, and he is in his sixth semester at a public university. He is really intelligent. His parents are Maria and Pedro. That's a really good marriage.
Okay, Heather, let me see if I understand this marriage. Maria is married to Pedro. Pedro is Maria's husband. Maria is Pedro's wife, right?
Yeah, you're right. Let me tell you more about this marriage. So, Maria's husband is a chef. He is hardworking. He works more than 8 hours per day, but that's okay because he loves cooking. And Pedro's wife is an accountant. They work together in the same restaurant. Of course, Maria is in charge of the finances of the restaurant.
Wow, they are really hardworking. That looks like a great marriage since they help each other.
Okay, we have this happy marriage. Pedro and Maria. They have children. A son, that's my friend, and a daughter, Valeria. So they have Luis and Valeria. Pedro is Luis's father or dad. Pedro is also Valeria's father. Logically, Maria is the mother or mom of the two children.
Okay, I see. May I ask you something? How old is Luis's sister?
Valeria is 14 years old and she is at school. She loves learning languages. She wants to be a translator and travel around the world to discover different cultures and more languages.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm sure that Luis and Maria are very proud of their children, Luis and Valeria. They are really smart.
All right. So, what are Luis and Valeria to each other? They are brothers or siblings. Luis is Valeria's brother, and Valeria is Luis's sister. They are siblings.
Well, that part's clear to me. I hope our listeners are understanding this family. So far, so good. We already have parents, son, daughter, brother, sister, or siblings, husband, and wife. This vocabulary of family seems to be easy.
All right, Pedro, the father, has parents too, doesn't he? Sure, everyone has parents, right? Pedro has a father named Miguel and a mother named Consuelo.
Oh, Miguel and Consuelo are Pedro's parents, so they are Luis's grandparents.
Yeah, you're right. Consuelo and Miguel are retired, so they don't work anymore. They live in a small house near Luis's house.
They are also Valeria's grandparents. Consuelo is Valeria's grandmother, and Miguel is Valeria's grandfather, right?
All right. Maria, the mother, has parents too. Maria has a father named Camilo and a mother named Margarita.
Oh, Camilo and Margarita are Maria's parents, so they are Luis's grandparents too, right?
Yeah, you're right. Keep in mind that Camilo and Margarita are Valeria's grandparents too.
So, how many grandparents do Luis and Valeria have?
Luis and Valeria have four grandparents. They have Miguel and Consuelo and Camilo and Margarita.
Luis and Valeria say that they like their grandparents very much because they always bring them gifts and spend time together. The grandparents are very proud of Luis and Valeria. Now, another important question. What are Luis and Valeria to Miguel, Consuelo, Camilo, and Margarita?
Well, they are the grandchildren or grandkids. Luis and Valeria are the grandparents' grandchildren. Do you get it?
Yeah, I got it. Luis and Valeria are the grandparents' grandchildren.
Yeah, Natalia, keep in mind that we now have three levels of kinship: grandparents, parents, grandchildren.
Thanks for teaching me about family and relatives. Learning how our families are organized is very important. Understanding other families is a way to understand our own family.
Yes, you're right, Natalia. I want to know what you understood. Tell me about Luisette's family.
Easy peasy. Luis is your best friend who has a beautiful family. His parents are Pedro and Maria. Luis's father is and Luis's mother is an accountant. They work together in the same restaurant. Luis has a sister. Her name is Valeria. Valeria is 14 years old and she is at school. She loves learning languages and she wants to be a translator and travel around the world to discover different cultures and more languages.
Wow! So far, so good. Keep telling me more about this family.
Sure, Luis and Valeria have four grandparents. They are Miguel and Consuelo, Camilo and Margarita. I learned today about family vocabulary and I learned a lot. Well, I think that's all for this section. Get to know me. See you later!
Are you in your reading nook? I hope all of you are now in your reading nook because it's time to be really attentive. We are going to start our segment Reading Nook. Last section, we finished reading Ali and His Camera by Raymond Pisante, and we have an activity to check about the last part of that book. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. I really liked this book. I answered all the questions and for sure our listeners have their own answers too. I really want a 5, the highest score.
Well, Natalia, you will get a 5 if you give me the right answers for all the questions. But don't worry about the score, because in this space, the most important thing is that you learn.
Okay, Heather, I know that the most important thing is to learn, but believe me, I won't make any mistakes. Let's start.
Let's start with the first question. What did Ali take photos of?
Easy peasy. Ali took photos of people, doors, and windows. He also took photos of young children in the city.
Great, Natalia, that's right. Does Mr. Salin enjoy teaching photography?
Yes, he does. Mr. Salim enjoys teaching photography.
Yeah, Natalia. Next question. Which photo was published in the newspaper?
I think that I am going to get a perfect score. I think it was the photo of the children on the bridge.
Yes, it is. If you get the next question right, you will get a perfect one. Here we go. What did Ali receive from the newspaper?
He received a job offer. He's going to learn a lot working there.
Wow, Natalia, you are on fire.
Did I get all the answers right?
Yeah, you got all the answers right, Natalia. You really pay attention to this book, Ali and His Camera. Okay, today we are going to start reading a new book, Natalia. I'm sure that you and all our listeners are excited to start this new reading adventure.
Wow, I can't believe it. This is our third book. I am really excited to start reading a new book. Hey, Heather, what is this new book about?
This new book, it's called Moby Dick by Hernan Melville. In this book, you are going to discover a new world. This is a world of oceans and captains. I'm really excited. Let's start reading. I'm going to read the introduction of the book, and then my best friend Natalia is going to read the chapter number 1. Introduction. I'm going to finish this. I stop when the white devil is dead, with my harpoon in his white devil's body. Captain Ahab hates Moby Dick, the white devil, because he lost a leg to the white whale in a fight. Now, Ahab, the captain of a whaling ship, can only think of one thing. He has to find Moby Dick and kill him. Many of the other sailors on the ship don't know about their captain's plan. Ishmael is a young sailor and this is his first whaling job. He and his new friend, Kikeb, sail with Captain Ahab on this exciting and dangerous trip. Also on the ship are Starbuck, Stop, and other whalers from different countries. Will they find Moby Dick? What will happen next? Okay, before we start, it's important to talk about the author of this book, Hernán Melville. He was born in 1819 in New York City. His father died when Hernán was 12. There was no money after that, so from the age of 15, Hernán had to work. He had many jobs. He worked in a bank and he was a school teacher. Then he began working on ships. He left New York in 1841 on his first whaling ship, the Acushnet. Hernán loved the ocean, but whaling was a very hard life. He left the ship after 18 months, but his life on the Acushnet gave him ideas for Moby Dick and other stories. He sailed back to the United States in 1844 and wrote books about his exciting life on the ocean. People loved them and they sold well. In 1847, he married and bought a farm. He began to write Moby Dick in 1850, but people didn't like it as much as his earlier book. Hernán Melville moved back to New York in 1863 and died there in 1891. Now people around the world know the story of the Captain Ahab and the wild whale, Moby Dick. Some people say that it is the best book in the English language. Well, that was the introduction of the book to give you an idea of what the book is going to be about. Also, we learned a little bit about the author of the book. It's important to keep in mind that this book has 13 chapters. Chapters, capítulos. 13 chapters, 13 capítulos. In each reading book section, we'll be reading one chapter. Are you ready? I'm sure you are all ready. Go ahead, Natalia. Start reading the first chapter.
Chapter 1. My story begins. He's out there, in the ocean. But he's here too, in my dreams, always in my dreams. He will never leave me. He's whiter than the first beautiful snow in winter, whiter than the stars in the sky on a warm summer's night. But he brings only death. He's Moby Dick, the white whale. My name is Ishmael, and this is my story. I'm a sailor, and I work on different ships. I love my life on the ocean. It's sometimes dangerous, but never boring. I feel sad when I'm not on a ship. One November day I thought, I want to work on a whaling ship. Why did I want to be a whaler? I can't tell you. The life of a whaler is very dangerous. The men are away from their homes and families for years. Many never come back. Their wives wait at home. They stand and look at the ocean with sad eyes. But I wanted to visit exciting new places, and I wanted to see the whales. The first American whalers sailed from the town of Nantucket, so I went there too. I arrived on a cold, dark night and looked for a room. I was tired, so I went into the first place. The men inside drank and talked loudly.
A large man with a red face stood behind the bar. "Do you have a room for tonight?" I asked him. "Our rooms are full," he said. "The men are here for the whaling ships. I'll have to put you in a room with Queequeg." Then he smiled and looked around at the other men. "Who's Queequeg? Where is he?" I asked. "Oh, he's a whaler. He's out now, but he'll be back later," said the man. Then he smiled again, and the other men laughed loudly. I didn't understand, but I was very tired. So I went into the room and got into bed. I fell asleep very quickly. A noise outside the door woke me up. I opened my eyes, but I didn't speak. The door opened and a man came in. It was dark, so I couldn't see him well. Then he lit a fire in the fireplace. When I saw him in the light of the fire, I sat up. He was a huge man and very, very ugly. He had black lines over his face and body and almost no hair on his head. He wore a strange skirt and no other clothes. The huge man suddenly jumped onto my bed. "Help!" I shouted. "Help!" The barman ran in. "Stop, Queequeg! This man wants a bed for tonight. He's sleeping here." Then he turned to me. "This is Queequeg, the finest whaler on the ocean. Don't be afraid. He won't hurt you." He laughed and left us. After he left, we were very quiet. "I'm sorry," I said. "I too," Queequeg said. His English was slow and careful. We began to talk and then we couldn't stop. Queequeg listened to my life story and I listened to his. He came from Cocovoco, a long way away in the Pacific Ocean. He had a good life because his father was an important man. But Queequeg wanted to see the world. So he left his home and sailed away in his small boat. A whaling ship found him and gave him work. Queequeg was strong and quick, so he was a fine whaler now. He never went home. When the morning came, we were great friends. Queequeg stood up and shouted, "You will find us a whaling ship today. You and I will sail around the world." And do you know something? He was right. Queequeg knew because he could see the future. I learned this later. He was a strange and wonderful new friend.
Okay, this is all for today's Reading Nook. Thanks, Natalia, for reading the first chapter of this amazing book. Reading books in English, it's really important for learning this language. When I read a book, I learn vocabulary and practice my English by discovering new things in each story. Now, it's time to check your understanding. In this first activity of this book, we have some questions that you need to answer. Keep in mind that all these questions are based on the pages that Natalia just read. Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, let's start. Listen to 4 questions and write down the answer. Keep in mind that we'll check them in the next Reading Nook session. Here we go. Question number 1. What do you know about Moby Dick? Question number 1. What do you know about Moby Dick? Question number 2. Who is Ishmael? Question number 2. Who is Ishmael? Question number 3. Who came from Cocoboco? Question number 3. Who came from Cocoboco? Question number 4. Who is Ishmael's new friend? Question number 4. Who is Ishmael's new friend?
In our next Reading Nook, we will be answering these questions and we will know more about this short story, Moby Dick. Stay tuned!